Hello viewers, welcome to the Sports Connect. My name is Lawrence. On the show today we are having different panelists who have joined us to digest more on the sports world. Let me start from my near.
I'm Idrosevia, a Sports Connect panelist. I'm very happy to be here.
Yes, my name is Moises Jonad, as writer, a pandit at Free Kick 442, and today I happen to be one of the panelists today at the Sports Connect.
And in a special way, we have a guest in the house, a Manchester United fan, as I can see in his jersey. So let him introduce himself to us.
Jonathan Lenzi is my name. I'm so passionate about sports, and today I'm seated in the capacity of a Manchester United supporter.
Wow. And today in the show we are going to talk about sports, the previews of the English Premier League and other leagues, and the preview of today's game, Manchester United taking on Liverpool at home. Stay tuned. Over the weekend we had the English Premier League games on Saturday and Sunday. So let's start with the Saturday game. Wolverhampton at home taking on Spurs. You look at the game, Kane scoring in the 64th minute, a 1-0. What's your take on that game? How was the game, Idro?
I was basically very surprised of the goal margin, 1-0. I didn't expect that. I was expecting a high scoring goal because of the way how Wolves is playing an attacking football, and Spurs too is playing an attacking football. But the game ended 1-0 in favor of Tottenham Hotspurs. It's a good result for the team. Yeah, I think that will push it from there.
Wow, thank you. And Mr. Mwesezi, what's your take on that game? You
Yes.
saw how Spurs approached the game and Wolves. Did you expect the result?
Yes, of course, I expected the result, and if our viewer is there and watch the last episode, he can rethink and look at what we talked about last time. That me personally, I did not think that it would be a high scoring game, because Wolves can defend and Spurs, it's what Conte is better in doing. So a game that ended 1-0 in favor of Spurs, it was a better and a score that we really saw coming, because Wolves and Spurs, they all can defend, and I do think the results were fair for all the parties that were involved.
Wow. And our special guest, did you watch the game? What are your analysis on that game?
The game was interesting, and of course, Spurs winning, that wasn't in doubt, of course. Especially Harry Kane came up and he was on his form. Only that I expected Wolves at least to score some goals, even if it were like 2 goals. Making it maybe 3 or 1. Yeah.
Wow. Harry Kane scoring, netting his second of the season, picking from where he started in the Chelsea game. And in another fixture we had Arsenal taking on Bournemouth.
Yeah, I expected Arsenal to win the game, basing on their confidence. When you look at the defense, they are well organized. The midfield seems to be good, and when you look at Gabriel Jesus, this guy has contributed the most assists leading to goal in the Premier League so far. Though he has scored 2 goals, but the chances he has created really helped Arsenal. And when you look at now the Arsenal team setup, last season they have been pushed by Bukayo Saka. But this season now they have players who are performing. Gabriel Jesus can do. Odegaard comes in, and you find Martinelli. The team is too good. They deserve the win.
Mr. Moses, did you expect Odegaard to display such a performance, and their defender,
Yes.
Saliba, scoring his first of the season?
Yes, they say that we lead by example, but Martin Odegaard is one of the captains that Arsenal has. Is one of the best captains that Arsenal is having right now, compared to the last 3 captains. You see Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, you see Lacazette and Granit Xhaka, and you look at how Odegaard is commanding the team this season. Odegaard did a good job. He scored 2 goals with the help of Gabriel Jesus, and the result was expected because Arsenal dominated the game and they did what the coach commanded them to do.
Wow. And in the show, Manchester United fan, what's your take on Arsenal?
Yeah, Arsenal is playing some good football, especially in this time when Gabriel Jesus joined them and the likes of Zichenko. I think they made the right signings, and I like the partnership between Gabriel Jesus, Odegaard, Martinelli, and Bukayo Saka. It's a good one, even though I'm a Manchester United fan. Yeah.
Wow, thank you very much. And on Sunday we had another fixture. Chelsea were beaten by Leeds. Leeds at home beating Chelsea 3-0. What's your take? And Koulibaly getting a red card in that game. Moses, let me start with you. What's your take on that game? Did you expect the result?
Again, during the last episode, I talked about that the game will not be an easy one for Chelsea. We saw last season the game ended 3-2 in favor of Chelsea, but this season Leeds came prepared. They sold players. They sold Rafinha to Barcelona and they sold Calvin Phillips to Manchester City. But again, they were replaced well. They have Mark Roca in the midfield, and Rodrigo is at his best right now. Last season he did not perform well after his transfer from Valencia to Leeds, but this season he has started with 4 goals in 3 games. It was a difficult game for Chelsea. They were put off by the speed of Leeds. Koulibaly was put off. He got a red card in second half. So the game, from the start to the end, Leeds were the better team and they deserved a win.
Wow, with their kind of pressing game and Chelsea looked a little tired, maybe from the result they got against Spurs. Mr. Idru, what's your take on that game? Do you think Leeds deserved the win or Chelsea deserved the point in that game?
You know, when I look at the English Premier League games, especially Chelsea, I started watching the game from the start. And there's one thing the team is doing to counter-attack Chelsea. You find that they will always make sure that they cut Chelsea off.
Yeah.
Now, in that process, they will be scoring. And again, in the Premier League, when you utilize your chances very well, you go with the result.
Wow.
We have seen how Rodrigo has done it. That header was fantastic.
And
the blunder by
Mendy.
costed the team.
Yeah.
But overall, Chelsea did play some good football.
And I think when they considered that goal, the error from Mendy, they lost it all. Chelsea couldn't get the energy back to the game, and Leeds was not allowing them to touch the ball. They were possessing them. They were running all over the pitch. Okay? So I think that game was a big one. And if you missed the English Premier League this season. And in the last game of the week, we had Manchester City taking on the Magpies. Last time we talked about Newcastle being a threat to City this season. So, Mr. Lulenza, as a Manchester fan, so from Manchester, what's your take on that game?
I think Newcastle is no longer a small team in the league. Newcastle is a very big team. It has everything. It has everything that is required of them to win games. Especially now that they have a new boss, and then the pace at which they are playing. Oh my God, it was a piece.
Maxi.
Yeah. It was,
wow, thank you very much, Mr. Lulenzi. And Mr. Moses, give us your view of that game. Manchester City coming from behind, KDB showing his brilliance again in the game, Haaland netting his 3rd of the season. What's your take on that game?
Yesterday we saw one of the hardest games that Pep Guardiola has faced ever since he joined Premier League. Only in the first half, Newcastle had 5 shots on target, which you could not assume even if Manchester is playing Man U or Liverpool or Chelsea. But Newcastle is a changed team. Under Eddie Howe, they have both different players. They have Joel Linton, they have Alan Saint-Maximin, they have
Guimaraes,
Steve Botman in the defense, they have Danny Ban. They are all new players. They have Bruno Guimaraes, the midfield dynamite. He destroyed that midfield of Manchester City yesterday. So a 3-3 goal score, you would say that it wasn't expected, but Newcastle is a good team. Man City was good. They dominated, but again, Newcastle put something that Man City will go back there and read, and they analyze it so that they change in the next game. It was a very good game, and
wow,
it might be one of the games of the season.
Wow, a good one there. And Mr. Idro, what's your take? Did Newcastle deserve to take 1 point, or City was to lose that game? What's your take in that?
it's a fair result for both teams. They all deserve to get that point. Man City coming from behind, though they scored first, but it's a draw game. And when you look at Newcastle team, players that impressed me, the goalkeeper Nicky Pop, the guy was absolutely fantastic. He had one of the best saves, if not Saint Maximin. And then the man of the match has to go to the goalkeeper. But when you look at the English Premier League and you look at the way how Newcastle is playing, I'm seeing this team being a threat to any opposing team that they will be facing. And when you look at the way they play, I fear for the teams that will face Newcastle in the next few days. So the squad remain fully fit.
Wow. And in other result of Sunday, West Ham beaten by Brighton and Hove. West Ham have not yet picked a point this season. My bro, what's your take in that game of West Ham?
Yes, we saw Brighton hammering Man United at the first game of the season 2-1.
You call it hammering?
Yes, it is hammering, of course. Brighton playing Man U losing against Brighton, it's such a big team. So Brighton beating West Ham United, it wasn't a surprise win, because you have seen Brighton. The first game they dominated Man U, and it's what they did last season, and it's what they are doing this season. Brighton defeated West Ham yesterday, and it was the better team. And David Moyes said Brighton were the best team, and they deserved that win.
Wow. Mr. Idro, did you expect West Ham to pick their first win of the season, or you expected the result?
I think in the previous analysis, I said that game is more likely to end in an underscore, and it's a 2-0 margin. I expected that. And Brighton is a good team, though they have lost one of the best midfielders in their team, but they have recruited well. A good manager knows where to play a player in the place where the other one has left.
Oh, thank you very much. Mr. Lulens, West Ham bringing in Timo Kehela from PSG and causing the first penalty in the game. They dropped in Dawson in that and started Zuma with Kehela. What do you think of that game?
What I can say is that after me watching that game, I realized that in Premier League actually there is no weak team. I didn't expect Brighton to come and beat West Ham United by 2-0. Oh my God, it was a surprise actually. But I think Premier League it has changed the direction. It is now survival for the fittest.
For the strongest. Oh, thank you, Mr. Before we continue, Mr. What do you have in other leagues? Other results in other leagues?
Yes, there were many surprising goal scorers in different leagues. For example, in Bundesliga, Bayern Munich hammered Bochum 7-1 yesterday. Then Dortmund were beaten by Werder Bremen 3-2. The game reached in the 89th minute when it was 2-0. But Bremen surprisingly came back and won 3-2. In League One, PSG again won against the defending champions of 2020-2021 Real with a 7-goal margin.
Mbappe scoring a goal after 8 seconds.
Yes, Mbappe scoring 3 goals. Yeah. Then Messi 1, Neymar 2, then Achraf Hakimi. Then Monaco, who are also the champions of 2019-2020, were hammered 4-1. Then in La Liga, the two teams performed well. Madrid and Barcelona, all of them won 4-1. Madrid winning against Celta Vigo, and Barcelona winning against Real Sociedad. But the surprising game yesterday was Atletico Madrid losing to Villarreal 2-0. So those were some of the leagues that had different games in the weekend.
Wow, thank you very much. And today, as we're having the Manchester United fan in the house, we are having Manchester United at home taking on Liverpool. Manchester United looking for their first win and first goal of the season by their own player. And Liverpool looking for their first win and getting back to where they deserve to be. After this break, you're coming back. welcome back our viewers. This is the Sports Connect, and before we continue, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, the Sports Connect. Ring the notification button. Your comments are welcome. Share with your friends. Yeah, and before we left, we introduced a big game of the week. Manchester United taking on Liverpool. And in a special way, we have a Manchester United fan in the building. He's here to tell us, with the motivation the club is in, what's your take on today's game? Do you think the players are good to go?
Yeah, first of all, Liverpool today will look to be the most funny team, the most funny squad I've ever seen. They don't have Diego Jota, they don't have Darwin Núñez. Of course, Manchester United has to use this opportunity to win, and I don't think Manchester United can afford to register another loss after losing 2 games. Cristiano Ronaldo has spent 2 games without scoring. I don't think today he will miss. And then the players are motivated, especially with the coming of Casemiro from Real Madrid. Even though he's not going to play, but at least his presence on paper, it will seriously motivate them. So the coach, what he needs to do is to organize his team very well. Liverpool will appear to be, actually it's not appearing, but it's a weak team today. So I think it will end like 4-0 in favor of Manchester United.
Wow, that's a big margin, and you really have to expect from a Manchester United fan. And turning my attention to Mwesezi, what's your take with Manchester United in the transfer now? They want Anthony. Manchester United last scored the goal in May in the Premier League. Bruno Fernandes, Ronaldo and Varane, when they won against Brentford in the Premier League in a competitive league like this. What's your take on today's game, Manchester United and Liverpool?
Yes, right now everyone is saying that money is awful, the performance is totally bad. They have spent the last 4 games losing. They lost against Crystal Palace last season 1-0. They lost against Brighton in the closing 2 games of the season. They lost against Brighton 4-0. This season it has been the same. They lost against Brighton at the first game 2-1, and they lost the last match against Brentford 4-0. So they have lost 4 consecutive games, and this might be the 5th, according to me. However, the Manchester United fan has said that they are winning 4-0. But coming back to analysis, Liverpool is still a good team, although there is absence of Darwin Núñez and Diego Jota. But they still have Roberto Firmino. They have Mo Salah, and they have Luis Diaz, who is performing well this season. They have opened the season with 2 draws against Crystal Palace and Fulham. However, they performed well, however much they did not win. But this fixture, it is unpredictable. But again, I see it in favor of Liverpool.
Manchester United.
Wow, that's a good submission. Before we continue, do you think Manchester United is going to win this game, given the fact that Thiago Alcantara is missing in that Liverpool squad, and in the last 2 games Liverpool has played Manchester United, he outplayed Manchester United midfield. He exposed them. What do you think of today's game? Firmino in contention, having an injury, just returning back. They don't have a main striker. What's your take? How is the game going to end today?
Yeah, picking up from my colleague who has analyzed the team very, very well, let me talk about players that he has not mentioned in Liverpool team, and we are talking about Harvey Elliott and Minamino. Those 2 players.
Minamino left.
Yeah. Okay. Harvey Elliott is a very good creative player. Once he is in the team, he can do anything that Jota can do.
Yeah.
I trust him. He has even benched Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain for some time after.
He's still injured.
He's still in injury. So this game, I'm seeing the battle being won in the midfield. And when you look at the midfield of Liverpool compared to Man United, who are having the likes of Bruno Fernandes, Fred, McTominay,
Eriksen,
and bring in the experienced Henderson, Firmino. You talk about this guy from Bayern Munich. This guy is Diego Alcantara. He's super cool. Though he's injured, but we have these 3 players. That now, once you win the midfield, there's no way that Cristiano Ronaldo will be running. How can you run without the ball? So this is where now you find it's difficult to predict individual brilliance, because you can't run when there is no ball. There's one thing in the Man United team. Manchester United is not having a reliable winger apart from Jadon Sancho, who has not lived to the expectations of the fans and everyone. Apart from him, you see them playing Rashford on the left wing. If they can really address the left wing, then Man U will be in contention. And leave alone that they don't have strikers. How are you going to compete with the likes of
They have Cristiano Ronaldo.
Cristiano Ronaldo is now old.
My
That
friend.
guy is too old to compete with the experienced Van Dijk. So I'm going for a narrow Man United win, by the way. A narrow Man United win. I'm saying it 2-1.
So going back to the midfield battle, McTominay, Fred and Bruno Fernandes competing with Jordan Henderson, Fabinho and Naby Keita. Do you think McTominay, Fred and Bruno Fernandes can overcome that midfield? For us, we really know any football fan who analyzes football, the games start from the back, then the midfield, because it is the center of any playing style, the midfield. You have Fabinho, you have Naby Keita, you have Jordan Henderson versing Bruno Fernandes. You know how Bruno Fernandes is playing
The
this
Mark
season.
Fred midfield.
You have McTominay and you have Fred. They are all non-ball playing players.
There is the experience of Christian Eriksen. Eriksen is a very good midfielder. So when he's backed up by Bruno Fernandes, only that they have been lacking coordination, but this time round, trust
By
me.
the way, there's one thing I wanted to disagree with you in the current Man United setup. Playing Eriksen with Bruno Fernandes means you are playing two lazy players who cannot fight for the ball, but rather wait for the ball and do something good when they're on the ball. But when they are without the ball, what do they give for the team? I think there's a need for the coach to introduce someone to either play Eriksen and then bench Bruno, such that Eriksen plays the free role. If the two are played, I'm quite sure Liverpool is dominating from midfield.
And to cut you, coming back to our Manchester United player fan here, Manchester United in the preseason, Anthony Martial was their best player of preseason and is back for today's fixture. And the defense of Harry Maguire having issues. What do you think? Should Man U drop Maguire, or
I think
what do you think of that defense?
definitely Eric Ten Hag will have to bench Maguire if they have to register like their first win this season. I think the likes of Varane and Martinez, that combination will work better than Maguire.
So what do you take of Martial? Should they drop Ronaldo for Martial?
And no, they cannot do that. Of course, that is a piece of sublimism that the coach cannot even try to do.
Rooney came with a statement that if Man U really need to win this game, if they need the players with energy, they have to drop Ronaldo
They cannot
and
drop
Rashford.
Ronaldo. They need Ronaldo's experience. They need Ronaldo's experience in order to win such games. Especially Ronaldo is now angry of goals. You will need to score. You will do everything possible.
I think I halfway disagree with this guy's input of Maguire being benched for Man U to win the game. Maguire is not the one scoring the goals, by the way. It means the team is lacking creativity and someone who can finish those chances that Man U is creating, but not Maguire.
Maguire is the cause of problems in the defense.
Wow.
Of course, you don't expect people to score when the defense is very weak.
Mr. Moses, give us your last word of
Yes, my last word of that game, people are saying that Liverpool are missing their strikers, but every striker can score in the Man U defense that they are having right now. So you have Diego Dalot. I disagree with Eric Ten Hag playing Diego Dalot there. Actually, today I will be in favor of Aaron Wan-Bissaka because we need to defend. And Liverpool is going to be having the ball all the 90 minutes. I do think this game, it might end in a draw.
Wow.
But I do not see Man U winning that game.
Wow. A good one. Thanks for your submissions. Thanks viewers, and to remind you, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, the Sports Connect. Ring that notification button, share, comment, and keep the following growing. This is the Sports Connect. We bring you the sports from around the world. Until next time, bye bye.